is like they're just making a lot of bad decisions for like no reason. I don't know what they're doing. But we're gonna watch this video. And then I'm gonna
Marathon, the upcoming shooter from Bungie, has been caught up in controversy that could kill the game before it even launches. A revolving door of
game
leaders.
is destined to fail. It's always gonna be tied to that crazy plagiar. It is. It like what like I hate that's true. Because I don't know why the fuck why they like plagiarize shit. It's not even the first time they've done shit like this. Like if you fuck with Shorty's art, like hire her. Or like cut, if you don't like not even hire, cut her a check. Like you like instead of just title is
waves of layoffs and lawsuits over multiple cases of plagiarism. Things are looking grim for the creators of Halo and Destiny, and it's unclear if Bungie will even survive the year. But the problems aren't recent. They started back in 2022 when Sony announced that they were planning to acquire Bungie for a staggering $3.7 billion. This was set to be one of the largest acquisitions in gaming history and was going to help Bungie start seriously funding a project that had been in the works for a couple of years, a game called Marathon. Leading the charge on this ambitious new project was a man named Chris Barrett, someone who many believed to be the best possible fit for the job. Barrett had been with Bungie since 1999, working on their RTS Myth, the Halo series, and Destiny 1 and 2. If there was anyone at the company who still had that old Bungie magic left in them, it was him. And fans buzzed with excitement about having an old school legend working on the game. To help realize his vision, Bungie underwent an enormous wave of hiring, bringing in new executives, industry veterans like Mark Yelverton from 343 Industries, and Jordan Patz, the game design director for Apex Legends Mobile, and, to top it all off, they hired Joe Ziegler, the former game director for Valorant. This was an elite team of developers who had been in the industry for a long time, and it felt like Marathon was in very good hands. Fast forward to May 2023, and it was time to show the world what they'd been working on. Marathon's release trailer was like a taste of some wonderful fruit we didn't even know we were hungry for. It was a reboot of their 1994 series of the same name, and although there wasn't any gameplay, that didn't matter. The trailer was this strange, aesthetic art piece unlike anything we'd ever seen before. It was captivating, and along with the sound design and music, this little reveal was enough to get people excited for the new game. For those wanting to dig deeper, there was also some leaked information floating on the internet. Insider Gaming reported in October 2022, nearly 6 months before the release of the trailer, that Marathon would be a 3-person PvP extraction shooter, kind of like Destiny meets Escape from Tarkov. Still, this information passed under the radar for most of the mainstream media, and after putting out the release trailer, the Marathon team went dark for several months, intending to focus on getting the game into a playable state before giving the world their next taste of the game. Unfortunately, while they were off the grid, things at Bungie started to go sideways, completely derailing the game's development. The first hit came on October 30th, 2023, when Bungie CEO Pete Parsons announced that Bungie would be laying off 100 employees and delaying Marathon's release until 2025. The layoffs came as a shock not only to fans, but to those working at Bungie as well. Part of Bungie's acquisition by Sony was $1.2 billion being set aside specifically for employee retention, a literal slush fund to avoid laying people off. However, according to Parsons, Destiny 2 wasn't performing as well as it needed to, and cuts had to be made. Things got worse less than a year later, on July 30th, 2024, when Parsons announced a second round of layoffs that would get rid of 220 employees and transfer 155 to Sony. Amid these two waves of layoffs, several Bungie veterans were let go, including Michael Salvatore, Luke Smith, and Mark Noseworthy. Clearly, things were not going smoothly behind the scenes.
Lots of trailers nowadays have no gameplay or even worse, fake gameplay. They manipulate my wait. Bro, you know who really did that? The developers of Days Gone, not Days Gone. Fucking what was that game? What was that game? That zombie game. That zombie game that had everybody hyped. What? Hold on. It might have been called Days Gone. Anthem? The day before. Bro. See, that game looks so dope from the trailer. The day before looked so dope. And it was just the hugest scam ever. I'm so glad I didn't buy it. Anthem looks so dope. I was so hyped for Anthem. BioWare's making it. People that made Mass Effect. Oh, yeah. Iron Man suit so you can fly around. It's a looter shooter. I was super into those at the time. Gave me some of that. The graphics look beautiful. Gave me some of that. And then I played it. It was just like it was, for the first 10 minutes, it was so extravagant. And then there was just no end game. There was nothing to do. All the fights felt the same. There was no there was no variety with the guns at all. It was just so it was so lackluster. The day before, bro, that game was lackluster. I didn't even play it. I saw gameplay of that. It was nothing. The gameplay reminded me of the last, it looked like The Last of Us, but it was like some DayZ shit. And I thought it was gonna be dope. And then now we got Marathon. All the trailers I saw from years back, all the trailers they dropped recently, I was like, yo, this about to be tight. This about to be trill as hell. And then I saw the alpha gameplay. It was it looked fine, but I could tell I'd probably get bored with it. And it's so Marathon's disappointing me the most.
Questions
because it's the art style is so I mess with this art style so heavy, even though I'm pretty sure all of it's plagiarized. That's also a huge disappointment.
About how
the story looked convoluted and it looked like it was a lot of mystery to try to unpack. The lore videos would have went crazy for this. I know it, and it just freaking.
Marathon might be affected. Bungie didn't announce any major delays or cuts to the development team, so people assumed things were still on track. But there was one thing that almost everyone missed: a tweet from Joe Ziegler on March 19th, 2024, where he quietly mentioned that he had been Marathon's game director for the past 9 months. For the small few who saw this tweet, the information came as a shock, because there was no information out there about Chris Barrett leaving his position. Bungie didn't put out a statement, Barrett didn't say anything. Was he laid off? Did he leave of his own accord? How could a game director just disappear without anyone noticing? It wasn't until August 28th, 2024 that the news finally broke. Chris Barrett had been fired. Employees were initially told
and they wasted it on another live service looter shooter. I was dying.
He was on sabbatical, but quickly discovered that all his company accounts had been disabled. Something much more serious.
I don't think this. I'm okay with it being a looter shooter, but I think it could have been so much more than a looter shooter. It could have been so much more. Obviously, they couldn't make it. Or not looter, an extraction shooter. It could have been so much more than an extraction shooter, but I get why they can't make another looter shooter, because they already have Destiny and they don't want to take away the fan base from that. I mean, it probably wouldn't. It'll probably most likely just share a fan base. It could have been. Oh fuck! I wouldn't even want it. It's basically a battle royale. That's what a fucking extraction shooter is. It was PvE, PvP, type shit. I don't know what they could have made it. Could have made it an MMO.
This must have happened. Slowly but surely, the truth came out. Numerous female employees had levied misconduct allegations against him, claiming that he'd text them drunk, make sexual comments, and tons of other things.
What? Bro, what's up with game directors not being able to keep it in their pants, gang? What's up with folks? They can't keep it in their pants at work, scaring to work. I'm saying, you lost your job because you scaring the hoes, allegedly. Barrett would befriend women at the studio and various departments and then send them a barrage of text messages that blurred the lines between professional and personal. Bro, scaring the hoes? You can't be doing that.
Shouldn't do in the workplace. In response, Chris Barrett claimed that these allegations were completely false and that he behaved with, quote, integrity, and Chris Barrett even tried to sue Bungie, claiming that he was let go so the company could avoid paying him more than $40 million he was owed.
Woo!
Given Bungie...
Woo! Nah, I will say, yeah, you're right, P. Allegations, they're allegations. Chased him out the stew for 40 mil. I toss the allies to downfall. Alex is downfall of a nigga. Yeah, Akazi. Yeah, allegedly he was scaring the hoes, but we can't. I until I don't know the full story. I don't know everything that's going on. I of a fuck up. I'm not paying you shit. What's nah? Cause like we're just gonna leave it at there were allegations, but like if it's wild. Cause like if it's true or not, when you got that, and this is like about halfway why I'm scared of the hoes, and like why I wouldn't even consider talking to anybody, especially women out like that I work with outside of work, because these allegations can be levied against you, even if it like if it's real or not. Like I wouldn't even like bother talking to any of the women outside of work. I don't talk to anybody outside of work, but I damn sure wouldn't talk to women that I work with outside of work. I wouldn't do that. Workplace hoes couldn't have been bad enough to it's because you work with them for so long. They probably not even bad, but like you see them every day, they start looking like ooh. And especially he was thinking since he was getting that 40 mil, like ooh, they gonna fuck with me because I'm getting this 40 mil. This 40 mil. That 40 milli. But like, man, I can't. Do not talk. Like, can't tell me he in there with a building full of dimes. They making it. Yeah, no shot, bro. Game devs are historically built weird. All of them. Game devs are built weird. Every single one of them I've seen. Apology to you guys. What's good? Game devs, all of them are built fucking weird. I don't know why he's risking 40 million, like 40 mil for women. Game dev women, the Invincible versus crew. Yeah, bro, they all build weird. Nary a game dev is a female game dev is bad enough for me to risk for 40 million. I wouldn't dare. What's crazy? Like you cannot be DMing like you cannot DM women in your workspace, gang. And if you have to, if you absolutely have to, you just gotta keep it in like a professional setting. Like, yo, did you send me that fax? Yo, like, did you get this and this done by the deadline? Just strictly that shit. And then can't nobody say that you was talking weird in their DMs. But now that you can't be doing that. Especially like even if it like let's say all the CHC CHC, EBE, TTK, TCM, formerly known as CCG. Let's say we all get popping, all get on. We can't like we're on now. We can't talk to like women like that. It's gonna be harder to talk to women. Like I think I'm scared of the hoes now. I'd be double scared of the hoes like, if I was put on. Nah, I'd be so shook. I like cause like you don't know. Even if you vet them properly, like they still could be like a whole ass liar and like call you out your name and like, oh, he's this and that. And people, even if it's like proven false, there's still people that will believe them. And I'm sliding her DMs. Oh yeah, that's a given. I'm definitely sliding Jenna Ortega's DMs. Like, what's up, bae? Good. I know you missed me. I know that's a given. But like, well, not so much. You can slide in girls' DMs, but like you have to. It's kind of like you're required to slide into other famous people. Not even air quotes famous people. You got to slide into other famous people's DMs. Nigga, we up now. Exactly. I know you've been waiting on the nigga. We up now. Straight up. That's why like you have to slide into other famous people's DMs. And that's why like that's why famous people they historically only date each other, cuz it's like if you try to date like a normal person, like a normal person, quote unquote, like it has a really good chance to blow up in your face, cuz there's a there's the whole power dynamic thing. There's a power dynamic that, like, I'm not gonna say it's not real, because, like, well, it's not, it's real to an extent. Because I, like, if someone that was like, if someone was put on and I wasn't, and, like, if fuck with them meaning I can get on, but then it's because, like, oh do this and that, I wouldn't do it. But I can kind of understand, like, feeling the pressure to do it, because they're, I guess, like, in a higher status than you. That part of this shit being even remotely attractive, let alone bad. I'm sorry, I just can't see it. No, they're not. They're not. But it's like, oh, that's your boss, or, like, that's someone of a higher status than you, and there's a power dynamic. Like, if you don't do what they say, this and that might happen. Oh, you might lose your job, or oh, you might not get put on too. But it's like, you can't be fucking with people. Why you can't? Even if there's, like, a sliver of a power dynamic, you can't be fucking with that, because people will automatically go to the power dynamic. Even though you're a grown ass fucking person and you can make your own decisions, you were grown as hell in your 30s, worried about a fucking power dynamic. But I get it to an extent. I'm not gonna sit here and, like, fake it. But yeah.
His history of making separation deals with key employees, this wasn't that far out of the question, and many content creators rallied behind Barrett, giving him the benefit of the doubt. However, all doubt would be silenced on February 19th, 2025, when Sony released a 128-page document outlining every text, message, and misdeed Barrett perpetrated during his time at the company.
Woo! Eesh. Hold up.
Perpetrated during his time at the company. Turns out, he did not act with integrity. There were screenshots of drunk messages.
Barrett sent victim to Instagram direct messages stating, "You are the holy grail. I hope you find a person worthy of your attention. Her boyfriend treats her very well," Barrett responded. "Hey, he better, because I would hit on you if he wasn't." What he got that I don't? What he got that I don't? Huh? You want to be worshipped, I think. Why are you against that, actually? You want to be worshipped, I think. Why are you against that, actually? Night while drunk and after keeping on FaceTime call for hours, moved down a dark hallway to his bedroom and suggestively told her, "Can't believe I'm lying in bed talking to victim one." You're probably, huh?
Where he'd ramble about his sex life, frustration that employees working for him had boyfriends, and even asking them to
Female coworker to play with him included truth or dare and ask me anything, which, contrary to plaintiff's description, are not the type of game. You know what? Yeah, he's bugging out, but, like, this wouldn't be harassment if they, like, thought he was attractive. Just to let, like, y'all already know that. I don't gotta say it. But this wouldn't be harassment if they thought he was attractive. He's not, because, like, he's a fucking game dev and they're not. They're ugly SOBs, but so are they. But yeah, this wouldn't even be an issue. This wouldn't have been an issue if he was attractive. 100%. Bro? Girls can't say bro, got it.
play truth or dare with him. A 40-year-old man asking to play truth or dare over text. Gross. The things listed in this document are so cringeworthy, I literally
What are the steps one would have to take to date you? What's the strategy, guy?
cannot bring myself to repeat.
Sheesh. Don't mind. I text you a lot and I just worry. Like, I really enjoy texting you and talking. I don't mind him. I don't want him to get the right idea later in the when victim told, excuse me, I want your attention. So annoying.
Them. So let's let other people do it for us.
What do you think is your best and worst feature physically? He later told her in a text message she was hot.
You are the holy grail. Hope you find a person worthy of your attention and qualified it with. I'm not hitting on you.
I hope your boyfriend doesn't mind I text you a lot. And I just worry You want to be worshipped, I think. Why are you against that actually happening?
Much better that nigga look like Henry Cavill. None of this shit would be none of it. None of it at all. Which is like, it's not like, I'm not gonna say that's bad because that's just reality.
This whole
None of it. This wouldn't even have been an issue at all.
situation sparked conversations about the studio's broader workplace culture. There was a 2021 IGN report on Bungie's HR failures that seemed like it should have been taken more seriously at the
if he, or it probably wouldn't have been Henry Cavill because, like, you know, they're video game devs. If Buddy looked like Sephiroth, it wouldn't have been an issue. Sephiroth or Cloud or anybody from Final Fantasy, it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
Time of its publishing, but regardless, Marathon underwent an incredibly sudden change in leadership during a crucial point in its development. Joe Ziegler, who was by many metrics an excellent candidate to replace Barrett, only had a few months to get the game into a workable state, and was doing so while nearly 1/5 of the company was either being transferred to new departments.
Dante or Nero or Virgil or anybody, Timothy Chalamet, freaking anybody of that nature,
or outright laid off. To his credit, the Marathon team managed to hold it together pretty well, but their efforts simply weren't enough, and everything was about to go downhill. In early April, Bungie put out an ARG game for their fans. ARG stands for Augmented Reality Game, and in this case it was a series of clues posted on social media for people to try and figure out. The end of the ARG was a save the date for a pair of trailers, which were set to release on April 12th.
They don't have to do much. They just gonna call me diarrhea into that cause likes fat hick white girls. I don't like white women. I don't like fat white women either. How dare you? Get that ass banned.
The first was a cinematic trailer,
which had that breathtakingly beautiful Marathon aesthetic and really drummed up hype for the game.
The second was a gameplay trailer, and unfortunately for Bungie, this one didn't hit the mark. People joked that it looked like a PS3 game, that the gameplay elements had been done to death in the past couple years, and to make matters worse, a number of content creators who had been flown out to Bungie to try the game for themselves were allowed to release their own gameplay and thoughts on the game. It did not go how Bungie had hoped.
Much to my surprise, Marathon isn't as far along as I had hoped it might be.
Have this like tremendous amount of downtime, if you will, between engagements with other players. You have to treat almost every engagement as if you're fighting for your life.
If you like Bungie games for the story, you might not like Marathon.
I could see the vision that they have.
South Park when I think of game, yeah.
And I desperately hope that it does well.
Still, Bungie had a closed alpha set to go live on April 23rd, and maybe fans would have a better time with the game.
As if you're fighting for your life.
If you like Bungie games for the
fuck. He look like, yeah, he do stink. 100%.
story, you might not like Marathon.
I could see the vision that they have, and I desperately hope that it does well.
Still, Bungie had a closed alpha set to go live on April 23rd, and maybe fans would have a better time with the game than the content creators did. They did not.
Ultimately, I feel that Bungie really missed the mark just overall when it came to this alpha.
I was really hoping I would be wrong about this game being boring, but I literally cannot describe it in any other way.
There's a lot of good things here, but also a lot of not so good.
The word I would use to describe this game is okay.
For me personally, it's a tough game to see me investing in.
Everything about this game screams very mediocre and just kind of like middle of the road okay.
And in fact, at a basic level, I don't even think it's necessarily a good extraction shooter by default.
Marathon wasn't by any means a bad game, but it certainly wasn't the great game people were hoping for. There were tons of issues that a lot of people have talked about, including the fact that the extraction shooter craze was starting to peter out, the game had no written story 5 months before release, and Bungie had been dodging the simple question of how much the game would cost for months. It seemed like the only thing the game had going for it was that it still looked pretty good, right? Art director Joe Cross had done an incredible job creating the art style he describes as graphic realism, inspired by games like Mirror's Edge, films like Ghost in the Shell and Aeon Flux, and even F1 and MotoGP. It was clear that Bungie pulled art inspiration from tons of different sources. including independent artists who had their art stolen without their permission.
Yep.
This is where things get really bad.
Yeah.
On May 15th, 2025, artist Fern Hook, known online as Anti-Real, dropped a bombshell on social media. She posted side-by-side comparisons of assets in Marathon next to poster designs she uploaded in 2017. Marathon had copied the artwork, using identical icons, fonts, layouts, even her personal logo, which was haphazardly blurred and then plastered onto walls and crates. The art wasn't stolen and then used in some corner of the world no one is going to see it. They were everywhere in Marathon, an integral part of Marathon's design language. There was even a lost meme that Anti-Real had hidden in a piece of art that ended up making it onto one of the walls in the game. Bungie responded the same day, accepting the blame for using her artwork and deflecting that blame to a former employee who added the assets to a texture sheet during pre-production, which was then unknowingly used in the game. Pretty nifty excuse, but one that raises even more questions because Joseph Cross, Marathon's art director, and several other Bungie employees have been following Anti-Real on social media for years. If they're fans of her work, how did they miss that her designs were all over the game? These claims opened the floodgates. Apparently, this wasn't the first time Bungie had plagiarized art. Element J21 called them out for using their fan art in a Destiny 2 Lightfall cutscene. In 2021, fan art created by Relay 314 was used in a Witch Queen trailer. In 2024, a Nerf gun based on Destiny 2's Ace of Spades copied artist Tofu Rabbit's work down to the scratches. And 10 days before Anti-Real's post went up, a lawsuit filed by sci-fi writer Matthew Kelsey Martineau claiming that Bungie lifted elements of his 2013 story for Destiny 2's Red War and Curse of Osiris campaigns was greenlit by a judge and allowed to proceed. If my tally is correct, that's 5 claims of plagiarism in under 4 years. Unacceptable for a company as big as Bungie. On May 16th, Bungie tried to do damage control with the PlayMA stream, led by Joe Ziegler and Joseph Cross. PlayMA streams are usually used to show off gameplay, but in this case, Bungie was still scrubbing assets to ensure no more stolen art slipped through the cracks, so this was just 2 Joes sitting around, answering questions, and looking exhausted. The stream felt more like a funeral than anything else. In posts on social media, Bungie made it clear that they were working with Anti-Real to ensure that they're properly compensated and done right by, but it's hard to say if making things right is even possible at this point. In an interview with the Washington Post, Anti-Real described feeling validated but exhausted. Seeing her work blatantly copied was a gut punch, but pursuing legal action against Sony's resources also felt impossible. She'd been creating art with this aesthetic for over a decade, struggling to make a living, and seeing a major studio profit off of her designs without credit or compensation was almost too much to handle.
Yeah, bro, niggas die for shit like this. I can't
In short,
even hold you.
the one thing Marathon had going for it, its art style, was now synonymous with plagiarism. By May 18th, the fallout was undeniable. Forbes reported that morale at Bungie was in freefall across all departments. Developers were described as just hanging around to finish Marathon, with many reluctant to keep working on a project that's become such a lightning rod for criticism. Bungie recently promoted a new creative director to try and steer the ship in the right direction, but it's likely too little too late, as fans on Reddit and Blue Sky are already calling for Bungie to abandon Marathon and focus on Destiny 3 instead. A reality which might not be as far off as you think.
On May 24th, Sony announced that they were canceling all paid marketing plans for Marathon, adding to the growing list of bad news for Bungie. A new trailer scheduled for June was scrapped completely, and on June 17th, the team finally announced what everyone was expecting. Marathon would be delayed. In a blog post, Bungie announced that their hope with this delay was to rework the gameplay loop, increase visual fidelity, make the game more social, and add some sort of a story. Basically, all the things they should have done already. They've promised an update on their progress in fall 2025, but fans are not sure what to expect. With morale tanking and the community's faith shaken, Marathon and the future of Bungie hang in the balance. And only one thing is clear. Marathon will be a make or break moment for this shell of a once great studio.
Good video, but that's crazy. It was so fucked up. Like, hold on. I can't go. It's so fucked up.